on a boat, and they say he was God incarnate. So he fell in love with her, and then she put some conditions, and that's how this guy is born, Veda Vyasa, and he wrote some of the books. And there are a lot of story books, like we have comic books. There are a lot of story books as a kid people read about Veda Vyasa, how he authored some of them, and that's how Ganpati comes into picture. What happens is they say he had the knowledge Brahma gave, but he wanted to write it. He couldn't write it. So the only one who could write was Ganesha, and that's how the whole story came about Ganesha. It's a long story about Ganesha, and then Ganesha, that's why Ganesha knows all, because he said, I'll write it for you if you give me all the knowledge. So he transferred all the knowledge to Ganesha, and Ganesha writes all the book. So that's why he becomes an important figure. And then he's also the source of Kaurav, Pandav. You have heard of Kaurav and Pandav. Every Hindu Sanskrit, any fighting they'll say it's like the fight of the Kaurav and Pandav. About Syria, and they'll say, oh, it's like the fight of Kaurav and Pandav. Actually, Zakir Naik always says that, Dr. Zakir Naik, he always says that these stories are not one story. Everyone in history, from then till now, anybody who was an important figure, they added their own fighting stories or whatever stories of their own family to it. So it grows on and on. So there was not only one or two families who were Kaurav, Pandav, and from there, no, there are tons and tons of them. That's why there are so many editions in the books. So all of that is Mahabharata is that. So Mahabharata is a very interesting story. It's a fiction story. If you want to read them, good. It's a good fiction to read, but nothing to do with authenticity of that. Okay, this is okay. Yeah, this is what I was telling you. Sir William Jones, I mentioned that. This is a name. If you want to Google it, he is the one who actually translated it. And Rig Veda is one of the books. Is a lot of Greek scriptures and a lot of different reference to different books in the Rig Veda. And we'll talk about what the sources are. The few slides after this will have more details.
So, brother,
yes.
So would you be able to say that Greek mythology has borrowed, or Greek mythology is the source of Hindu mythology? How would you put it?
So I would say that some of the parts seems like they borrowed from Greek mythology, but some of the parts Greek mythology borrowed from them. So maybe it was like both are very old philosophies. So it was like we don't know who wrote first. So like even the African, the African teachings and all. If you go to pyramids, there are some teachings because some actually Africans believe in that, the voodoo and that believe in that thing. Even that is similar to Greek mythology. So now when you have three similar writings, the only way to know which one is who copied who is finding out who is first. Right? That's the only way to know, because there's no other way to identify. And then if you see there are similar timelines, then it's hard to know who copied from who. So speculation. But Swami Vivekananda and all, they believed that actually the Greeks copied from them. That's what they believed.
What is the Greek mythology?
So have you heard of Caesar, and all? This is latter time, the Caesar the king. So they were Greeks, right? Greek mythology, this very old. Have you heard of what is that called? The main god, Zeus. Have you heard of Zeus? They call Zeus is the main god, and then he has a son. Zeus has a son. Same like Jesus being son of God, right? The same thing. And then they have Mitra. Mitra means the triune god. Zeus, Son, and one more. They're like the triune God. So that's what's very similar philosophies. So when Christianity came about, they used that philosophy. And same thing the Hindus say Krishna. Then, but who are the three is a disputable one. Krishna is the main one. Nowadays, people say Krishna is the main one, and the two others: Krishna, Brahma, and you can say Shiva or Vishnu or Shakti. Can be one of the three. Three form the main God. Belief. Some people say more than three, but that's how the beliefs are. Okay. So now, okay, this is very important. We're talking about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the scriptures, inshallah. Okay, so after we talk about Muhammad in the scriptures, we will talk about the monotheism in the Vedas itself, right? I would recommend, though I'm covering this topic, Zakir Naik uses this, right? But my experience, if you're talking to a Hindu, this is the last thing you should use, last resource. Why? Because what happens is, any of the translation of any of these Vedic scripts I'm quoting to you, right? Any of the, whichever I quote to you, when you see, they mistranslate into different words in different forms. Same with Christianity, right? If you quote them the verse where it's mentioned about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the Old Testament, they say it's not Muhammad. They change it, because of this, because of that. They'll put their own philosophy, and they will not accept it. So that's the two problems whenever you give their scriptures to prove about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because then you're giving them validity, that we accept your book as the truth. We don't, right? That's one problem. Second problem is they can always go around the fact by saying, oh, this Rishi or this Pandit translated it this way, right? Who knows Sanskrit more? You are disparaging the truth. That's what they can tell you. But if he's almost convinced, he's already ready to believe in monotheism and all, then you can use these to motivate person more, right? Because he might accept the things about it, right? This is what it is. So Athar Veda, right? Let's talk about the Athar Veda. The other name of Athar Veda is Brahma Veda. Brahma Veda, right? That's also the other name. And there is some ulama say, our ulama, who were Hindus before, they're Muslims now. There are many of them. Like there was and there were other ulama also who were never Hindus before. They're already Muslim, but they have. Have you heard of Dr. Sajjad Nomani, Maulana Sajjad Nomani? Sheikh, mashallah. He studied in Banaras Hindu University, BHU. Very popular Hindu school in India, where they give you a title of Chakrabarti, because it's not that they teach you engineering and all, they actually give you a title of Chakrabarti, right? He went there to study with them, and he got a title of Chakrabarti from them. He's an alim, mashallah, from day one. He studied there. Mashallah, he's very, very popular. He used to go in Jamaat also. So, and then he went to Banaras University. He studied Hinduism, got a title from them. So he understands Sanskrit. He's very, very knowledgeable, mashallah. He's still alive. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, mashallah, you learn a lot from him. But anyways, so him and there are many other scholars who talk about translation. They translate the book based on their knowledge and they talk about it. Zakir Naik also does that. So based on their understanding, Athar Veda, Brahma Veda, which is, they say Abraham is Brahma. Because the way you write Brahma, you know how you write Brahma, right? In Hindi, if you write Ba, like B, it's like this, B, then you write Ra, Brahma. And if you just reverse that, becomes Abrahama, right? It says Abraham is Brahma. That's what they believe, right? Or Muslim scholars say Abraham is, I'm even getting confused. Ibrahim alayhi salam is Brahma, right? That's why Athar Veda means Ibrahim. And what is the proof? If you see the timeline of Athar Veda, it's similar timeline. It's like 2,500 years from now. Which time around we can say when Ibrahim alayhi salam or those people existed, because before Isa alayhi salam you have maybe a few hundred years from Musa alayhi salam, and then before that I don't know how many years for Ibrahim alayhi salam. So they believe that Athar Veda is same as Brahma Veda. So you can actually, and there are a lot of proofs of that. I will quote about that, different verses where you can quote and see that actually it does prove that these verses talk about Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Sarah is Saraswati, Ismail alayhi salam is Athar Veda, that's why it's Athar Veda, right? The son of Brahma Veda, the Brahma, which is Ibrahim. And Ishaq is Anjira, you will not know, this is not very popular. But Brahma, Saraswati, Atharva is popular. Manu is Nuh alayhi salam. Okay, what is the proof of this? Because what was the most famous incident that happened with Nuh alayhi salam we know about? Right? Yeah. Yes. Making the ark and the water coming through. And if you read the Vedas, you find same story. It talks about that Bhagavan, Parameshwar, told Manu that he is going to send water. So he took his 83 Rishi Muni and he went on a ship, and everything, the water was filled up over all of the earth. And when the water subsided, he took the 83 Rishi Muni, the pious people, went onto a land to teach people. Which is same what we know about Nuh alayhi salam, right? The water comes and was destroyed, and then we don't know the exact count, but we do 83 people who believed, and the other people. So they have the same exact story, and they say Manu, which is, according to our scholars, Manu is Mahanu, because Maha in Hindi means like a saint. You know, like if you are a good person, Hindu will say Aap Maha Insan hai. Yeah, like Maha means big, like a big figure, right? Mahatma Gandhi. Maha is like big Atma. Atma means soul, right? Maha Atma, that means like a very high, elevated soul you are. Mahatma Gandhi. That's how they give the name. So Mahanu, that's why we call it Manu. It became Manu, but that's the root word for it. So Nuh alayhi salam is Manu. So and same with Brahma, I told you how it became. Sara is Saraswati, and in the books also, Saraswati is what you call controls Brahma, because they believe every good person according to them is God, right? If you are good, they call you God. Apta Bhagavan hai. Have you ever heard that? Anything that can harm or benefit you is God according to them. That's why what you call a rat is God, because rat can harm you. That's why they believe snake is God. They also worship snake because snake can harm you. And they believe cow is God because cow can benefit you. Anything that can benefit harm is God according to them. It's one form of God. So that's why they say, some people will say Brahma is God, but actually it's Ibrahim alayhi salam, but not everybody will say that. And Sarah is Saraswati. So these are the sources. And now let's talk about some of the verses, right? So I have mentioned the name. In the three forms, you'll see the name of Rasulullah mentioned in the Hindu books are Muhammad. We have to talk about this in detail. Muhammad and Mama and Ahmad. Three different forms. right? So now, I'll tell you one thing though. If you use this word, what do you call people who want to dispute, they will say Muhammad is actually means Mahamad. Mahamad. They break it down. Mahamad, which means a guy who causes big mischief, right? And actually, the saying says very clearly, like you see, Malika. And this is actually from the what do you call the Bhavishya Purana. Bhavishya Purana, Veda Vyasa. Like I said, he wrote the Puranas and some of the Upanishads and all. Veda Vyasa. He wrote it. He's a very respectable scholar and a rishi from old times, according to the Hindu scriptures. And we have proof that he wrote it, Bhavishya Purana. But now what Hindus have started, after Zakir Naik and all these people came along, right? What they start doing it, they deny Bhavishya Purana to be a part of the Puranas itself. They say it's not part of the Puranas. Now they say, like, what's the Gospel of Barnabas, right? We found Gospel of Barnabas, which talks clearly about Isa alayhi salam and being not a prophet of God, but not being a son of God, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what they did was this own Gospel of Barnabas. He says Barnabas was not even a good guy, he was a bad guy, he was a big criminal. This is not book from them. Muslims wrote the Gospel of Barnabas. That's how they accuse you. Same thing they did with the Bhavishya Purana. Bhavishya Purana has so many clear references about Muhammad, so they will take either two routes. Some Hindus, Pandits and all nowadays, they deny Bhavishya Purana being part of Purana itself. They say it's not part of Purana. It was added by somebody else. But if you see that, if you actually see, Bhavishya Purana is a very old book. It's not from New. It's very old, even before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can read it down to. So how can it be by a Muslim? Because there was no Muslim there. Like, who will tamper it? And so that's the debatable topic. That's why many of the Swamis, even there was one Hindu scholar in India, he didn't become Muslim, but he even gave a lecture, and he talked about this, and he said that the people you mentioned is mentioned in our books, and he proudly mentioned it. But his point was, let's not fight, let's be in peace together. But he brought this up. So there are many Hindus who do believe in it. So if you talk about Bhavishya Purana, who knows what Bhavishya means? Future, right? Bhavishya Purana. So this one talks about prophecies. Like a book of Revelation in the Bible, right? Book of Revelation. Same way, this talks about the prophecies in the, from Veda, it's extracted, the Puranas, all about future prophecies, what's going to happen. So it talks about a future prophecy, a Malaka, that means somebody, an Ajami. Like in an Arabic context, you would say an Ajami. That means not an Arab person, not an Arabic native, right? Ajami. Same thing, say Malaka will come, and what will he do? He'll be spiritual teacher, will appear with his companions, and his name will be Muhammad, right? Malika. So what they have done, if you look in the Sanskrit dictionary, right? Older Sanskrit dictionary, you will see Malika will be translated as somebody from foreign country, and so they also translate as a very intelligent, wise person. But now the latter dictionaries, look up the same word, Malika. They say disgraceful, disgusting, bad person. Translated, they change the whole definition of Malika. Right? SubhanAllah. People are so, that's what Allah says, and they change words of Allah. But anyway, they change that word itself, and that's what first thing they did. And second thing is Muhammad. Now they cannot change Muhammad. Why? Because in very clearly, if you see in the, in Sanskrit, it's written Muhammad. There's no way other you can read it. It's Mada. Like if you see that, it's clearly it's Muhammad. You cannot change it, right? So now they say, no, it's actually not Muhammad. It means Muhammad, which is big mischievous guy. So they are saying a disgusting person will appear with his companions, and his name will be a guy who causes big mischief. That's how they change the whole thing. Yes.
So I'm trying to understand what's the significance that if actually Rasul's name was in the book, then what are we trying to say?
Okay, because if you read after this, it talks about what are the achievements of this person will be. He says that Muhammad will appear with his companions and he'll teach to his people, and they will be victorious, and they will be meat eaters, they will overthrow, and they will rule the earth. They will be, and even God talks about that I have chosen them. So now if they accept this, so then they have to accept it was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They cannot. That's why they come up with all kinds of hoopla tricks to jump around and come up with somehow disprove the fact, right? Which is it. And so it's so clear. Like Muhammad, you cannot. There's no other way. If you ask a kid read this, he'll say Muhammad, and that's what it is. So, but that's why they would say it's not Muhammad, it's Muhammad. Yes, it's very clear. This is a good verse you can use. Of course, if they might try to debate it out, but this is a good verse to see. So now this is the whole pretext. Take time to read it. It's a very good. Read the whole thing. His name will be what? Muhammad. Okay, who knows about, before we go to this, let me hide this. Okay. Have you heard of Raja Bhoj?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, man.
I just had a quick question. You were saying how a lot of people they changed the definitions, right?
Yes.
Is that commonly understood? Like for common Hindus, are they aware of this change, or is that
No, no.
more
Common
for-
Hindus will not know.
So
Somebody.
to them, they will accept this. verse
They would
as
accept
is.
that. You can just tell them, look at Bhavishya Purana, you can Google it also, show him this is in Sanskrit, read, you do Sanskrit? No. But even if he doesn't know Sanskrit, these letters are very similar to Hindi. He can easily see it's Muhammad. That's not hard to see. Show him this verse and then he should be able to figure, yeah, it makes sense to me. Kind of thing,
But we don't believe in this book, then why are we quoting something from that book?
Okay, that's a very good point. That's why, before I started, remember what I said? My aspect is usually not to try to prove Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam from their scriptures. I would rather take them to the latter thing I'll talk about, monotheism in the Vedas. I tell them there's one God and then bring them to the Quran, right? Because even to Christians, I avoid quoting them, proving them Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is in the Bible. Rather, my approach always is from the Bible, show them that Jesus said about one God, one creator, from their Bible. Because then that's easier to accept in common terms, rather than accept about Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam from their book, then they all will try to dispute it. Same way Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam from the scriptures, they always dispute it. But this is a good thing for people to know. And I was asked to, people always say, show us from that. So that's why I said bring that up. But my conversation, I never talk about these things. Unless somebody is already close, is already learning it, then bring this up, that will maybe help him understand it. Okay, so Raja Bhoj, who has